Hello viewers, welcome to the program. I'm Rohit Vyas and you're watching a special edition of Face to Face, our nationwide program where we feature prominent guests. Now our prominent guest today is Dr. Sumul Raval. He's the medical director of the David S. Zocchi Brain Tumor Center at the Monmouth Medical Center in the state of New Jersey, which is right here where we're headquartered. He's a board-certified neurologist and a neuro-oncologist. We're going to discuss brain tumors. Everybody's talking about heart health, blood pressure, diabetes, but what about cancer? And specifically, what about brain tumors? What should you know about brain tumors? What are the telltale signs that you might be suffering from one or should get an examination to determine if you might be having a predisposition to one? Welcome, Dr. Raval, to TV Asia.
Thank you.
This is an interesting subject. First of all, I've introduced you to our viewers, but tell us a bit about the center. There was a vision behind it for you. You had this vision to come from the big centers, move to a sort of smaller city to make this kind of care available to a larger population. So tell us a bit about the center where you're the director.
Well, I moved from Sloan Kettering. I always had dreamed to start a comprehensive brain tumor center in the state of New Jersey, because every time I was at the Sloan, I was seeing so many patients coming, traveling from all over the places, taking extra trouble, coming for their best cancer care or brain tumor care. So my intention of coming to the state of New Jersey and develop a comprehensive brain tumor center where patient can get most highly updated treatment locally at their home, not to have traveled to the far distance hospitals, and also get the expert care at their home, in their home comfort. And I think it was become very difficult in the beginning for establishing the center, but with the help of one of really good friend and a big supporter of the brain tumor, we were able to establish brain tumor center at Monmouth Medical Center. And at presently we just opened actually center on October 17th. And the person who donated most of the money to help me set up a center was one of my patients, patient and his wife, David Zocchi, and his wife, Judy Zocchi. So with her help and her enthusiastic support, along with major administrative support from the hospital, we were able to establish a very high quality comprehensive brain tumor center at Monmouth Medical Center.
So now this means that people who, unfortunately may suffer from this disease don't necessarily have to go to New York City, to go to Denver, some of these big cities where the big well-known centers are. Instead, what's happening is with your experiment, you're bringing that big type of technology down to other areas as well, more reachable,
right.
More affordable.
I think that was the main intention of my coming to state of New Jersey and developing this center, where patients from our area don't have to take trouble to go to the major other centers, where we can provide them same level of high standard care locally, and also plus try to get some more clinical trials for them where before they were not able to get those treatment here at the locally.
Okay, now let's define the subject. First of all, brain tumors, to me it's a layman's term obviously, but medically what is it, what would you call it, a brain tumor?
Well, brain tumor is a very difficult and complex word. When people hear brain tumor, they feel like there's no earth under their feet. They feel like everything is losing because it is so deadly word. People always fear about brain tumor. I always tell about brain tumors because the cancer it's so much different. Most other systemic cancers are so much different than brain tumors. Since brain tumor people, this tumor affect their soul, their own personality, their own self. So you cannot experience this unless you go through this. And I see this every day in my office. So brain tumors are very complex group of disease where people lose their so-called
functions, normal functions, thinking ability,
all different kinds depending on where the location of the tumor.
Even emotions, right? They
Absolutely.
could even lose emotions,
right.
Memory,
It all depends on the location of the tumor start and also type of the tumor, because there are many different types of brain tumors. Some we call benign brain tumor, and some are more aggressive brain tumors.
How does a benign tumor form, the safer one of the two,
Right.
if as it were?
Right. So more we call even in a benign brain tumor, there are some subgroups that we divide them. The more common tumors are called meningiomas, which are starting at surface of the brain and can be easily removed. And once surgeon can remove those tumors, patients are almost cured, and we don't have to worry about treating them more after their initial surgery. And we monitor them by doing serial MRI scans so often. Versus other types of so-called benign brain tumor, which is early stage of gliomas, where patient can be still having a low-grade brain tumor and can be still curative by having surgery. And once those tumors become higher grade, then we have to do more interventions.
What are the causes, do you think, Doc? I know it's a tough question. Obviously, there's a lot of research going on for decades into the causes of cancer, and there's so many types of cancers, and there have been all kinds of theories that have been propounded. But is there such a thing as a basic cause? And number two, the natural follow-up question being, what are the risk factors? What should people look out for to realize or determine if they might be at risk for cancer? Now, specifically brain tumors.
Right. I think the cancer, there are lots of different things about different cancers, and there are lots of recent advances in the research have brought a lot of different causes for the cancer, especially for genetic causes. There are some genes that they discovered, like for breast cancer, ovarian cancers. We have now genes that we look for it, and we can tell people that you are higher risk to having breast cancer.
Is that inherited? Is that probably inherited?
Yes,
family history?
Absolutely. That's definitely runs into the families, and we now do genetic counseling for those families and their family members to look for any gene in their family and advise them accordingly. When it comes to the brain tumor, most brain tumors are not genetic in origin. So people have it without any genetic penetration to the offsprings.
So that means a greater segment of the population could be at risk.
Right. For a brain tumor, the known risk for people to have a brain tumor is the radiation. That's the only known risk that we know causes the brain tumor.
Cell phones?
Well, that is
a lot of doctors are being asked that question these
right.
days.
I think I just gave a talk grand round at one of the major cancer center on cell phones. Do cell phone causes the brain tumor? And there are so many papers, so many clinical trials looking into this for last 10 to 15 years to see if there's any evidence. At this time, we do not have any conclusive evidence that cell phone causes a brain tumor. And that may change because we may not have enough exposure and information at this time.